Welcome to the All Jammed Up podcast presented to you by Music Never Stopped. Today is Monday, July 21st, and today on the podcast we have Torrin Daniels. And instead of doing a full intro and outro this weekend, we're just going to do one intro and do the interview. It's been kind of a crazy weekend with the All Jammed Up event. I had family and friends all in town, but I wanted to get an episode out today. And then on Thursday, Chloe and I will do a full recap for Chloe's Corner about the All Jammed Up Festival. So we'll see you guys then, and enjoy this interview with Torrin.
What are you doing? Podcast for Lot?
Yeah.
Come be on a Lot podcast.
Yeah, hell yeah. All Jammed Up.
This dude's doing a podcast. If you want to be on some podcast, come give an interview.
Hell yeah.
All
We're here, guys, with Torrin Daniels from the Kitchen Dwellers. We were supposed to do this last month at Mountain Jam, but American Airlines had other plans for me.
Oh, as they often do.
Yeah, man. How was that festival?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. That was our first time there, actually. But yeah, it was a fun festival. Super well run, and yeah, they took really good care of the artists, and yeah, Karina Reichman was there. She played right after us. She killed it, and um, Tom Hamilton and yeah, J-Rad were all there, and
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was great. Beautiful spot.
You guys were first day too, right?
Um,
Thursday or
I
Friday?
think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. It's hard to remember in the middle of the summer with all the festivals.
I know, yeah, you guys got Bonnaroo in there for the day, right? You guys were the first day for that one.
Yep. Yeah, we were one of yeah, the lucky few that got to play at Bonnaroo this year with the weather and stuff.
And you got to see
Um
ICP.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, they played on the same stage as us. Yeah, their whole crew was there hanging out backstage. They roll with quite the entourage.
Did
There's
you
like
meet them? Did you meet the two dudes?
I met some of what were the Fago clowns is what
Okay.
they called themselves, which is basically just guys that dress up in clown makeup and get on stage and spike bottles of Fago off the stage, and they like shoot like rocket across the crowd and spray Fago everywhere, basically.
That's such an
Um,
interesting subculture to me.
yeah, yeah, wild. Yeah, yeah, it was funny because someone paid, one of our fans paid what that guy Shaggy Two Dope to roast us on Cameo one time, like a few years ago. So he like sent us this roast video um on Cameo from Shaggy Two Dope, and it's like pretty cringy, but but then when we got announced on Bonnaroo and being on the same stage as them, he like sent us another video that was like, "See you at Bonnaroo."
That's
Um,
hilarious.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, they were definitely they had a huge crew with them. Someone sent me a fan sent me uh shirt, an ICP shirt at Red Rocks when we played at Red Rocks, because they knew we would be on the same stage as them. So I wore it at Bonnaroo, and like the dudes like all hanging out backstage, like all their crew like went from like kind of keeping it themselves to like instantly just like whoop whoop like the second I put the fucking
Woo!
shirt on. Yeah. So
That's hilarious,
yeah, it
man.
was it was funny. It was an experience for sure. Bonner was definitely a day.
Sweet. Well, man, I want to
Yeah.
kind of I know you kind of have like an interesting path to get where you were now. You started playing drums and then got into different instruments. So I just kind of want to hear like what made you want to start playing drums and how did it progress all the way to banjo now.
Yeah, I just started playing drums in school, in band, and I was in like fourth grade, I think, when there was the option to start for band in our school, and that was just the instrument kind of that I picked. Um, I didn't want to play any sort of like woodwind or
I feel that.
horn instrument or something like that. Um, as a kid, I'm pretty sure I just had to take my sticks home to practice. Like I didn't have to take like a drum with me or like everyone had to take their instrument home to
Yeah.
practice, and so it was like um, that was a bonus. But then, of course, that went from having to only carry sticks home to practice to having to carry a drum set everywhere for when we started playing like little shows in garage bands in high school, having to haul a drum set around everywhere in your car.
Was it
So
like a full drum set you were playing for the band, or was it just like drum roll or like drum line?
in like yeah in band, the like when I was in like middle school, it was like concert band stuff, and then um I went to one high school in Wyoming where the band was marching band, so we did do
Okay.
drumline stuff, which was fun and different, and interesting. We did a drum feature for like a state band competition. That was we transcribed the song "Barbarian" by August Burns Red. It's like a metal
Yeah, yeah.
feature, and it was like it was sick. It was like it turned out pretty fucking awesome. But the guy, that the band teacher for that high school, was like a huge dick. He was such a fucking asshole. So that was that was not my fondest memory of playing the drums. But after that sort of morphed to like, yeah, playing drum set in like we did like jazz band and pep band and stuff like that, and then yeah, starting like little bands with friends in high school, and playing little gigs here and there where we could,
And what kind of music
in
were you guys trying to do? Like jam band stuff, or was it more like punk rock, metal, like that kind of stuff?
it was kind of it was a different combinations of all of that, I guess. Like there was like, some it was all, kind of the same kids being in different formations of bands, kind of. And so like one of them was like kind of like what I would say would be close to like an organ trio type thing, that I had with a couple dudes, that was pretty jazzy, that we would do sometimes. And then um yeah, there was like kind of like a punk reggae sort of conglomeration uh of dudes that I played with for a little bit. And then yeah, and then there was like other groups of, you know a few of the same kids playing together, but was more like bluegrass leaning. And we were starting to get into trying to play acoustic music, and I was like trying to learn the mandolin and the guitar at that time too. So um, it was kind of like, yeah, in small town Montana, it's hard to um, yeah, find lots of people with similar interests, especially music wise.
Yeah,
So we
that
kind
makes
of like
sense.
ended up playing with different conglomerations of a lot of similar groups of kids, when we were younger, but playing lots of different types of music, I guess.
And what? How old were you when you started shifting into like the acoustic bluegrass side of things?
I didn't fully sort of commit to bluegrass as a type of music, until I went to college, and in Bozeman, and I met Sean. And at that point, I had like bought a banjo, like a cheap banjo, and was just like kind of playing around with it. Didn't really know how to play it at all, and that turned out to be good enough to to be in the band. So um, yeah, so that was like the first iteration of yeah, really committing to mu acoustic music and bluegrass was when I first met Sean and Joe, my freshman year. So.
Okay, and what kind of about bluegrass is kind of like what you latched onto? Like, what kind of music were they showing it to you, or what made you want to kind of dive deeper into it?
I think I mean, my grandpa always listened to bluegrass, when I was growing up. And like that didn't never had really connected to me as much as other forms of country music because I we were like, you know, grew up in a ranching family,
Yeah.
in a ranching community. So like my folks listened to a lot of like cowboy music, um, and as well as just like kind of classic country. My grandparents, same thing. Um, so I didn't connect with the old timey bluegrass as much until going to college and meeting Sean, and he being from Telluride had a much more wider experience of what bluegrass music is or could be. But I think the probably the thing that first really drew me to bluegrass was Yonder Mountain String Band. Just after in high school being into um jam bands and Fish and prog rock, old like Yes type of stuff, and then from there seeing that scene also had this other um subculture within it
Within
that
it,
was
yeah.
like the jam grass scene, um with Railroad Earth and String Dusters and Green Sky and everybody. So yeah, that was kind of the first thing that drew me to it, I guess. Would have been probably a direct connection from listening to Yonder.
Yeah. I actually just saw them for the first time on Friday the other day.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
first
they.
time.
I
Damn.
know. I think it was my first time seeing them, but they're doing that tour with Donato and Railroad Earth,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
able to get over to that one.
Nice.
You guys are on a pretty cool tour now too. Is it Leftover Salmon,
Yeah.
you, and somebody else, right?
And the String Dusters,
String
yeah.
Dusters, yeah. That's yeah. I
Yeah.
saw you guys were in. I live in Asheville, and I saw you guys were in like the Coca Amphitheater the other night, and I was like, damn,
Yep,
maybe I gotta
we're
get over there.
yeah. Yeah, we were at Coca Booth um the other night, and then last night we were at the Amp in Charlotte.
Okay, nice,
Yeah.
cool,
Hmm.
cool. Bum, you
Yeah.
guys are skipping Asheville.
Yeah, I know, me too. I love Asheville. Yeah. Yep,
um,
we're all the way up in Ohio today. We drove overnight. Now we're our day off is in scenic Ohio.
no better place to be, huh?
Yep. Yep.
So you met
Beautiful.
Sean in college, and then how did the evolution of the Kitchen Dwellers like become a full project?
We sort of just like hung out and jammed a lot that first year. And just like played a bunch of tunes and sort of like threw ideas for tunes back and forth. Um, and we're starting to, some people were starting to write their own songs or work on writing their own songs. But like what none of us were super prolific at it except our first guitar player, Kyle Shelstad, who is now he's in a band called Barbaro in the Midwest, but he was pretty um prolific songwriter kind of right off the bat. Like he could put together songs fairly quickly that were good. But so that was like kind of the first iteration was a lot of his writing when we first started playing gigs and stuff. We No one else really had any other songs, and I didn't sing really. And then when he decided to leave, then we I kind of pretty immediately stepped up as the one who would sing the most, I guess. And then we had like a little year where we didn't do much because we were missing a guitar player. That we played a gig um, where I played guitar for, a short time. And then yeah, we met Max, and he was already in another band, and we kind of usurped him. We kind of stole him from another bluegrass band in Bozeman, but I think he was happy with the choice he made. So,
How'd the name
but
Kitchen
yeah.
Dwellers come about?
um, it came about as a suggestion from a girlfriend of the band at the time. I think is who actually came up with the name, but it was we were all like we the only place big enough that we could all like stand around and gather in Sean's house in college in student housing was in the kitchen.
Okay.
And we were just trying to come up with a name for like the first open mic that we were gonna do. Um, it's just so they had something to put on the board, and we were like all standing around the table, and one of the girls that was there with us suggested that. I think is who threw that out there.
It's a good one. I
And so
like
we
it.
just we just went with it, and we never came up with anything better after that. So that's what stuck.
How'd that first show go? How'd
Um,
that first gig go?
I think it was at the Hofbrau in Bozeman, which is like a ski dive bar, and I wasn't 21. I was like 19, I think. And I think it was pretty good. We had many shows after that at the Hofbrau, which is a tiny place, and that got like super rowdy. There were people like dancing on tables and like just like super packed. Fire marshal would always get called, and
Fuck
um,
yeah.
yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, yeah, definitely had some good times in the Hofbrau in Bozeman for sure. They're
Nice.
pretty rowdy days.
And you guys say that like Kitchen Dwellers is like galaxy grass, right?
Yeah, that's actually from that was a fan coined term that yeah, one of our friends said it about. I think at first it wasn't even in reference to our band. It was about something else, like listening to some live show or at a show of I think it was Railroad maybe. Um, but it was like a certain jam that they were in, that he was describing it like that, and then the other yeah, other friends of ours latched onto that term for our music.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was Ryan Torres, I think, who first said that phrase. He's now he's the talent buyer for Logjam up in Montana. Um,
Okay.
Logjam Productions, which like runs the Wilma Theater and Kettle House Amphitheater and all that. So he's in the business now.
Nice. That's
But
cool.
yeah, so yeah, I think Ryan Torres was the first one to say that.
Nice. As you so you kind of grew up more like introduction to the jam was more like Fish and what other bands were you listening to? You said at that time.
Yeah, kind of all over. I was listening to everything at
Okay.
that age. But yeah, Fish and Widespread Panic. My uncle um had moved to Seattle to work for Microsoft, and he uh told me a story when I was in high school about that he had just went and ate mushrooms and hung out with a bunch of braless hippie chicks at a show called Widespread Panic, and he had a great fucking time. Uh, and that and so he's when he pitched that to me at when I was like
Sold.
17, I was like, done, yeah, awesome. uh, and Yeah, so yeah, I listened to yeah, a lot of Fish and Panic and Cheese and Yonder and Humphreys, like all the jam bands, all the classic
Yeah.
names, and then but also yeah, I was into a lot more aggressive music too, and still am.
Like
Um,
what?
like a lot of like old school punk influence, Rancid and Bad Religion
Okay.
and like yeah, Op Ivy, Green Day, that kind of stuff. And then also um being into drums too, played a lot of metal at times.
I know, like
You
Montana.
know.
I guess probably more like Missoula has like a pretty good hardcore scene, right? Is that something that you were ever
hmm
into?
No, I never did. I didn't make it up to Missoula as a kid. I didn't hadn't even been there. Being from Montana, I hadn't even been to Missoula pretty much till I went to college. Um, which is odd. But uh yeah, I did never did yeah, go to any hardcore shows up there. But went to like we went to Warped Tour and like saw like Less Than Jake and
Yeah, I used to fuck
yeah,
with those
bands like
dudes.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, being into playing drums and stuff, into the timing and technicality of it all, metal is a pretty good, place to start for all that.
It's so funny that you said that. Like less than Jake. I just interviewed a guy named Jason. He's a local banjo player, and the only other banjo player I think I've interviewed on the podcast. And
Hmm.
he too was like, yeah, some of my musical influences are like Less Than Jake, Agent Orange, No Effects, and it's just funny to hear.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, the banjo guys stick together on that.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyle Tuttle would say the same for
Okay,
sure.
cool, cool.
Um, yeah. Yeah, and actually, I'm on this tour right now. Our guitar player Max, his wife just had a baby, so he's off this tour right now. So John Stickley is actually filling in for Max
Oh no
on this
way.
tour. Yeah,
That's even
yeah.
funnier
So
you
he's a
say that.
Nashville guy. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because John Stickley's fiddle player, Lindsay,
Oh yeah.
she dates Jason, the guy that said the banjo thing last
Oh
week.
really?
Yeah,
Oh
so
no way. Oh wild. Yeah. Yes, Stickley, but Stickley is very heavily influenced by No Effects
yeah.
and Bad Religion, and yeah, we've had a nice punk rock acoustic jam session every night on the bus after the show. Um, yes, yeah, we definitely it's this it's the seems to be the natural progression of things is all of your like metal and punk friends you either die young or you live long enough to see yourself become a bluegrass musician.
So do you feel like connected to like the I feel like bluegrass has so much like roots in it, you know? And do you feel
Hmm.
as like connected to those old school bluegrass roots, or are you kind of just like this is I'm doing a
Yeah.
different thing?
Well, it's kind of a double-sided thing. There's um there's in bluegrass there can be it's in the scene can be pretty hardcore traditionalists who which obviously bluegrass, it's like actual bluegrass itself is kind
Hmm.
of fits in this one box, like
Yeah.
like real true bluegrass is kind of like this one specific style of playing, and it's not much else. um and it's wonderful, it's beautiful. But there are people that do not, they don't want to think outside of that box, or they don't want to play outside of that box, and that's fine. That we need people to, uphold, musical traditions and
Yeah.
not, forget about the old ways and things like that. But there you get a lot of people, more so, I find more so fans than musicians, you know, being turned off by progressive players, or progressive bands, just because it's not, they'll say it's not bluegrass. Oh, just because it's yeah, not in that specific box, and they'll,
Hmm.
and fans can be kind of, they can be kind of obtuse about it. They can be um they can be a little dickish about it sometimes. Whether it's if they they you can basically claim for any sort of progressive playing to be no part of nothing, as they would say. Not fitting into the bluegrass scene. So it's a kind of a double-edged sword where it's like I do feel connected to um the old-timey style of playing and the tradition and the sort of beauty of all that, how that music was created and the people that were doing it and the way that they were living, was pretty, similar to my upbringing, rural, living off the land. And it's it's pretty organic style of music. It's all acoustic and it's, all the people that do it are super talented.
Yeah.
Um, you know, the ability to, sing that well and also play that well at the same time and hold rhythm down without any sort of percussion going on. And it's all those players are super impressive. um so it's kind of like um loving and holding respect for that, and then also at the same time, um our band is like, we're not trying to be anybody else.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are very, very concerned with sounding like somebody else
Hmm.
in music nowadays, and they're really trying to sound like like someone else that they take inspiration from, and which is um
Normal, but to an extent.
normal. Yeah, yeah. And so I'm really proud of our band in that we definitely don't, we used to feel like we had to do that. We like used to feel like if we're playing at a bluegrass festival and there's a bunch of old folks, that we're like, oh, we better play some traditional stuff so they like us.
Yeah.
And but it wouldn't be as good of a show
Hmm.
because that's not what we do. And so it'd be like, we still love playing bluegrass, and we'll mix in traditionals into our live set, but not, we're not going to play 10 of them right in a row
Yeah.
or anything like that. And so it's like, yeah, we're really, it's pretty liberating to get to a point as a band where you're just like, this is us, and we're just going to do our thing. And if you like it, that's great. And if you don't, that's totally fine. Um, you know?
Yeah, so I know you guys play. Um, this is a question that just popped in my head, and I think you would probably know a better answer than me. But like somebody like John Hartford, who in this
Yeah.
sense is like, older traditional style bluegrass, but at the time I can't imagine
Hmm.
he was perceived as traditional. And I know you guys like to cover a lot of his music. Do you think that like
Yeah.
the older heads, like when John Hartford first came out, they were like, "What is this guy doing?"
Yeah, they had to be because he was a fucking weirdo for sure. Yeah, I mean, I remember, like, Sam Bush tells a lot of stories about hanging out with Hartford, and you know, Sam Bush is very good at story time,
Okay.
and so if you just sit and listen when you're hanging out with him, you'll get to some pretty rad, wild stories pretty quickly with Sam. And the way he talks about it is like, he was in Newgrass Revival, and at the same time, Tim O'Brien was starting Hot Rise, and then also at the same time, they tried to get Hartford to be in Newgrass Revival. Um, but he's like, he was kind of doing his own thing, and in the same way that I think Sam said that Hartford asked him to be in his band for like the recording of Aeroplane, I think,
Okay.
that album. But at any rate, those guys were all those different factions of Newgrass were all starting at relatively the same time, and all kind of going about it in different ways.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like people, yeah, I know that people used to like boo Hot Rise when they do their red knuckles thing, when they go change into the nudie suits and come back out and play, you know, Western swing, people were like upset about that, and
That's so
like they
crazy to
people
me.
would get upset at Newgrass Revival for playing, like a reggae cover, and I'm sure that John had to get flack, because some of his songs are just him standing up there and going ha ha ha, like dude, he's just doing weird shit.
That
He's the
one
first guy.
song, My Rag, he's just like, I go to A, then I go to C, then I go to
Yeah,
D.
yeah, 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 and there's all sorts of there's the what's the one, the All Explosion song or something like that, where he's just
I
playing
don't know if I know that one.
fiddle, he's just playing fiddle or guitar, and he's just making explosion noises in the background. Um, so it's like, yeah, I'm sure that he had to get some flack for sure, starting to begin with. But that's also, Hartford is pretty good proof of the other side of that argument, where um, being unabashedly yourself
Believe,
is
yeah.
the easiest way to get people to like you, actually, because it allows, the more that you are yourself wholeheartedly, the more it frees people up around you to be themselves, and then
Mm,
for them to have, a more genuine experience at one of your shows. Um, so I think that there's something to be said for that, for sure.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's probably one of my favorite of the older bluegrass guys. It's just fun, and what I really
Yeah.
like too, like I feel like his songs, maybe it's just Billy Strings, honestly, but Billy Strings does a really good job of like taking a song of his and just completely changing it, and I like that. Just another thing
Yeah.
Billy Strings does, it's
Hmm.
crazy. But
Hmm.
you guys have some pretty crazy covers too, and I went on some website today doing my research, and you guys have covered some crazy ass songs like "Regulate," "Kryptonite,"
Mm.
"Bring the
Hmm.
Noise." Where does
Yeah.
I know some of them are only done like one or two times, but still, where
Yeah.
does where does that come from, and like how do you bring it to the band? Like, hey, we're gonna do a Public Enemy song. Like, how does that kind of work between you guys?
Yeah. Well, in the being in we're in the bluegrass world, but we're also in the jam band world. So
Hmm.
we find ourselves doing a lot of themed things. So like, New Year's themes or Halloween, things like that. Definitely influence those covers. We also have our thing we do every year, at Pine Creek Lodge in Montana, and it's sort of like our summer party. It's not a festival, because we're pretty much the only band that plays, but we do have a lot of guests come up and play with us. But it's like it's a big thing. All the Montana folks come. My parents come. My grandparents are there. Um, People come from all over the country for it. But it's because yeah, it's so special, and there's daily themes. And usually this year we're doing it a little different. We put some more work into it. We kind of are curating more of an event this year. Um, but usually it's the fans pick the themes, and so
Oh, okay.
so they like pick, whatever they're gonna dress as for, one of the four nights. And so we usually lean into those themes. So the fans will pick the themes, and so we will usually lean into those themes as a band, whatever they are, um, and sort of come up with a lot of covers throughout the weekend that are fitting of that, whatever wild theme they come up with. We're usually able to find some applicable covers for it.
What's been the
Um,
best theme?
so this was actually hilarious. A couple years ago, there was one night was going to be like casino night, and so everyone's wearing casino card stuff, right? But at the same day, so this is also what the fans do is, there's usually it's some sort of eating contest over the course of the weekend, that the fans are putting on, and it's in Paradise Valley, so like all this is like at a campground sort of near Pine Creek. So there's like, if you can think of like the, very rural Montana, close to Yellowstone, on the Yellowstone River, and all of a sudden like 1,500 some odd freaks descend upon a family KOA campground for 4 days. Um, and so this one year they had a chicken eating contest, and like a rotisserie, like you
Yeah.
had to see like how much of a rotisserie chicken you could eat in like whatever 5 minutes. And so Joe wakes up that morning. It's like the second day or third day of Pine Creek, and of the weekend, and it's and Joe was known as a kid in high school, and also I saw him do this in college. That he could like you could kind of bet him to eat whatever, and he would do it, and it like in or like large quantities of something like kind of without trying, which I don't know how he does. He's a little skinny bastard, um, but so he just woke up that Saturday and just goes, "I want to do the chicken eating contest." And we're like, "Well, Joe, like the fans put it on, and it's like a sanctioned event. They have like they have like um applications. They make people fill out applications, and then they pick from the applications
No one's
for
gonna say no
for
to
the
him though.
contestants." Yeah, that's the thing though. So we're like, well, it's kind of biased, and it's also people turned in these applications months ago. So, but Joe just really he just wants to eat a chicken. That's all he wants out of his day. And so we went to the store and we got Joe his own. We didn't tell anybody about this until right when we showed up, but we went and got Joe his own rotisserie chicken at the store, and then brought him his own like little table and chair and set it next to the long at just at the end of the long contestants table. Like, and didn't say anything to anybody about it, and just so when they like got all the contestants came out there, then we just like brought Joe out and set him up uh to just eat a chicken with all these people. And he actually like he got like third place, I think, and he like wasn't even trying. Like he was just having breakfast essentially. And uh and he and he beat like most of the people in the chicken eating contest.
I feel like I could
So
crush a rotisserie.
yeah, I feel like I could too. um yeah, so Joe, he does this early in the day, and all these people like it's like a scene, like there's like several hundred people, um
At the
on the
chicken
banks
eating
of the
contest.
Yellowstone at the chicken eating con, like blasting, like someone's holding a ghetto blaster, like so like there's like kegs of beer that people are rolled out from nowhere, like people are like playing dice. It's like a scene, and the KOA is like pretty perturbed about it going on.
Yeah.
And so we get done with it, and then we're like, well, so we have this the gambler theme night, and so it's like we have some gambler songs in the beginning of this set, and then in the second set, we just, since the chicken eating contest was like the thing that day that everyone was talking about, we just switched to chicken themed songs for like the second set basically, and it brought like a whole rock band out with us. It wasn't like just it was like drums and keys and saxophone, electric guitar, and so we switched from playing all these gambler songs, and then we played like at the second set with and like wardrobe change and everything, um, and didn't tell anyone about this, and came out and did like Dixie Chicken and Rooster and like Chicken Fried by Zach Brown and like a
That's
bunch of really
hilarious.
ridiculous shit. So the those ridiculous covers, we definitely kind of lean into them, and yeah, we're definitely not above a good gag in
So
our band.
sticking to the covers, that this one's not a gag. I don't think it's probably my favorite cover that you guys do. You do a great job of like singing on it and evoking a certain emotion. But in the Pines,
Oh
specifically
yeah.
the one you guys did in Kalamazoo in October, I listen
Oh
to it on
nice.
Nugs like 3 times a week.
Oh hell yeah. Thanks, man. Um yeah, that one just kind of comes from so that one's really interesting because it's a really old song.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you who did it originally according to you because I know people say different things.
Yeah, I think Lead Belly is like the first one credited with this is a question for Stu, actually. This is our tour manager Stu over
Hey,
here,
Stu.
who also does all of our archiving for the covers. Stu, who is In the Pines originally by? Yeah, so yeah, it's a traditional, but Leadbelly was the first one to
Okay.
popularize it, or and I think he's the first credited at recording it. So he does it in like a very, you know, muddy waters,
Mm-hmm.
Delta blues way, and then um
Yours is intense, man.
yeah, and his is like very minor key, and then um there's also a bluegrass version that came about in the same time period that's all major key, um and it's the same lyrics, but it's definitely, it has a completely different feel to the
Mm-hmm.
song. And then Nirvana's version is like kind of like the most
Yeah.
popularized one, which they credit to Leadbelly.
Okay.
But they do it kind of a little bit differently too. um and so ours is sort of a conglomeration of all of those.
Yeah.
um it's in the minor key, but it's definitely like a little more spacey, a little, it's a little more sparse as far as instrumentation goes. And there's also there's instrumental versions out there too, fiddle versions with like um Daryl Anger and Mike Marshall, and some of those that I got sort of the ideas for the melody that we play in our version. It's different than kind of the Leadbelly one or the bluegrass one. So
Yeah.
um but yeah, it's definitely a murder ballad. It's definitely,
I love it. Yeah, it's great.
yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, how what does Dell say? Everyone knows how fond us bluegrass people are of killing each other. Um, but yeah, that one's good. That one's there's definitely like a creepy element to it, and yeah, I like the intense moments on stage, the intense dark moments. Definitely our band kind of shines through with some of that. Um, so that's one of those good moments for sure.
Yeah.
I really really enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sticking back to what we were just talking about, like fun times and stuff, though. You guys are playing my favorite festival this year. I think I've seen you post on Instagram that it's a very special place to you. But Halloween at Suwannee. Have you guys played for Halloween yet?
Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
we've been to Halloween. Yeah, once. We've been to Halloween once, but we've been to Suwannee
A
several
bunch.
times.
Yeah, I figured
Yeah.
that as much. Um,
Yeah.
I'm stoked for you guys to be at Halloween. That's like every year I like block my calendar. That's my favorite festival, and I think they do a really good job of balancing like bluegrass jam, EDM too, like all of it. So that'll be sick that you guys
Yeah.
are being there. But
Yeah.
what makes Suwannee such a special place to you? You think?
I think it's just the setting really is something else. The first time we played there was at like one of the smaller bluegrass festivals. Um at yeah, like whatever it's called, like Spring Fling. No,
Spring
it
revival,
was
roots revival,
yeah,
or something
Spring
like that.
Revival for sure. Yeah, but ours was it was in the fall though, I remember, because it was before Halloween, and um they but they had like a setup of like a ton of jack-o'-lanterns at like one of the
Okay.
um camps that we went to. Yeah, there was like a million carved lit up jack-o'-lanterns all around. But yeah, the first time we played there was, yeah, at this little smaller bluegrass festival, and we played there for 2 days, and the band a um had like hotels nearby, and we got done with our set, and some of our friends were there. And I, started hanging out with them, and we started like kind of walking around the campgrounds, and I just texted the band. I was like, just leave me here. I live here now. And we like me and Stu and some of our friends, we wandered through the swamp for like all night. Like we
Yeah,
like check we went to so many places. I didn't you don't even like realize how big that place is
it's
um
huge.
until you really start wandering around. And it's yeah, it's just pretty enchanting, you know. It's like um yeah, we played when we played at Hulu, we played at the Spirit Lake stage, so it was like,
Oh, sick.
you know, you could see the lake and the lights on the lake, and the Spanish moss hanging and stuff. And it
Hmm.
was like we played at like 2 in the morning, and we were the only band that played on that stage that day. It was all DJs before. I think it was
Oh,
the first
okay.
day of the fest, and it was all DJs all day before. And then yeah, we got up there with our bluegrass instruments. But we sent it because it was so late at night. We played a bunch of weird heavy stuff, and all of the bass heads definitely got down with us for sure. They were getting super hyphy for being a bluegrass show.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, now to link my
yeah,
two questions, you guys got to play In the Pines this year at Halloween.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, yes. Well, like I said, we're always you know, fans of topical covers, so it's we can't resist a good gag.
Hell yeah. Um, Going back to a question that I probably should have asked in the very beginning, but we've just been jumping around here. I want to know a little bit about like your experience in learning the banjo, because I know that you say you kind of learned backwards. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
So when I first learned banjo, I played with a pick, like a guitar pick. And you know, was just kind of figuring out because I played guitar and mandolin, so I was just kind of figuring out you know, how to even approach the banjo. And um through that kind of figured out, you know, that it's this tuning is pretty similar to guitar, so like you can kind of make your way through learning how to play the instrument just with a guitar pick. But then after like a year of doing that, when we were first jamming, I got the finger picks and like kind of committed to um, learning the Scruggs style. Um, but I never, I took a lesson or anything really on it. And so you know, I just played the way that I played and, um, you're supposed to mount your hand when you play, like you balance your hand on two fingers so you can sort
Yeah,
of get a good angle at your strings with your picks, and then it gives you you know, more control um over your wrists, and gives you a little steadier hand. But for some reason that just never worked for me. It like never felt natural for me to do that. um and so I have never mounted my hand, and so I play the Scruggs style, but I'm when people watch me play, they're always asking like how like if I'm strumming it or what, because my whole hand just kind of moves around. Um, but
are the chord shapes the same, like as guitar?
they're similar.
Okay,
The middle three strings are D, G, and B.
okay,
So it's like the and then the high string is a D. So it'd be like the four highest strings of a guitar, except the highest string is dropped down a full step.
okay.
And then you have the drone string. But so yeah, a lot of the fingerings are like kind of similar. You can see the similarity between that and standard tuning guitar, for sure, with some of the chord shapes. Um, but yeah, so I figured out that you know, those chord shapes and scales through kind of playing it like a guitar, and then learn the stroke style. But yeah, I never could mount my hand, and I feel like it helps me with the style that I play now, because I do a lot of like, you know, it's kind of a hybrid of single string and strumming and sort of cross picking and Scruggs style. And just the way that our band plays and jams and sort of our rhythmic pocket that we use, it just works for us. So Um, yeah, so I've never felt the need to change it, I guess.
Yeah.
But it is, yeah, it's a bit of a faux pas to not mount your hand in the traditional bluegrass community. Um, and but that's yeah,
Cool. Nice.
we're just the way that we are. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You mentioned in the beginning too that like the band wasn't all that great at songwriting at first. In that time, were there times where you like wrote a song and brought it to the band and were like, I don't really know if I believe in this, but I'm gonna give it a shot, and it ended up being like a really good song?
Yeah. This song called "This Time" is like that I wrote is like it's kind of like our fans really like it because it's old and and it's pretty rowdy, but it's like I think it was the first song I ever wrote. So it's really
Oh,
simple. Chords are really simple. Lyrics are like pretty simple. And yeah, I think that yeah, I'm not sure.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, why I'm not. Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure why that. No, I just meant like I'm not sure why the yeah, lots of fans seem to really like that one. But when I first wrote it though, it was like I was um yeah pretty
Like shy to show it to people.
yeah, I like didn't know what to how to present it to the band or yeah how
Mm,
to you get much more comfortable at those things the more that you do them,
yeah,
especially with songwriting and creating art. You get much more comfortable with expressing yourself like that, and also being open to it being changed too. You know, when when you're a young songwriter, most people are pretty intense on ownership of their creating their songs. So they like if they really want it to be a certain way, really want this certain lyrical phrase or whatever, you'll have that more often than not. But also a lot of times when you create art or write music or anything like that, from the creator's perspective, you're looking at a painting, but you're looking at it this close, so
hmm,
you're not seeing the larger picture, which sometimes is changing lyrics or changing melodies to make them into what could be a greater piece
yeah,
of art. Um, so you get a lot better at showing the songs to the band and then being like, what do you guys think? And you get much more comfortable with um telling each other what you think, sharing your opinion, um and also offering up if we want to change something, like this is an idea that I have, but it's like you get much more comfortable with
yeah. I
not
feel like
not wanting to like not thinking you'll hurt each other's feelings.
yeah, it's like that. Your relationships get stronger, and you realize it's advice, not criticism, and sometimes that's hard to accept.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. And yeah, and we're all, everyone in the band's, we're all buddies, we're all pretty close. So it's you know, we don't there's no real contention usually with our creative process at all,
yeah.
you know.
And you guys just played the Ryman with Mountain Grass Unit, right?
Yep.
Sweet. So, to my final question is like, you've been doing bluegrass for a little bit now. People who like bluegrass, like jamgrass, they know who the Kitchen Dwellers are. Um, it seems to me as like kind of a newer fan into bluegrass, jamgrass, last 5 years or so. There seems to be like a new resurgence of bluegrass with these groups like Mountain Grass Unit and Shadowgrass and Magoo, like all
Hmm.
these new guys, young guys that are crazy, um, musicians. And I
Yeah.
just want to know, like, as you, somebody who's a little bit older and kind of seen it grow, how exciting is it for you to see this like new resurgence coming with these crazy musicians like Luke Black and Kaiser George?
Yeah, it's really cool. Those guys are very, very good at bluegrass. The Shadowgrass and Mountain Grass unit. We've toured with both of them, and yeah, they're just like shining examples of very pristine
Yeah.
pickers, and they're kind of they're we're getting to the same place, but sort of from different avenues. Like, where they have played bluegrass music from a very young age, um, and been proficient at it for many years, and now they're starting to get into jamming and
Hmm.
making, using effects and things like that. Whereas I think we were almost just a rock or jam band that eventually you know shifted to bluegrass instruments. So it's like, we're getting to this similar territory, but through different avenues. And it's exciting to see. It's um, if the new generation of musicians are all like, you know Luke and Kaiser and all those boys. If that's the new generation of bluegrass is in very good hands.
Yeah,
Um, Yeah, those guys they're awesome. And yeah, Magoo is great dudes.
they're fun, man. I've
I
just
see
been
them.
listening to them. They're awesome.
Yeah, they kill it. And yeah, I see them quite a bit in Denver, and yeah, really love what those guys are doing. I love sitting in with those guys and just hanging out and picking with them. They're all great dudes. And it's really good to see. Um so it's very exciting. And yeah, I think the music is in good hands for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of sitting in, do you have like a favorite person you've sat in with, and then like a bucket list person that you'd want to sit in with?
Hmm. Favorite person I've sat in with. Um,
Like I can't believe this is happening right now moment. Anything like that?
yeah. Um, they all kind of go, um, like I feel like it's as a band coming up and getting to sit in with lots of people. I kind of feel like that every time. Every time I sit in with a new band, I'm like, um kind of like, damn, like, younger me would be really blown away
Yeah.
at this right now. I used to sit and listen to this band, in my bedroom on a ranch in Montana or Wyoming, and didn't ever think I would ever see this band play music live, let alone know them personally or get to play with them on stage together. So I
Yeah.
kind of feel like that a lot. Um, yeah, what the most interesting one recently has been, I sat in with Perpetual Groove
Oh,
actually,
nice.
at Meow Wolf in Denver, and it was awesome. It was super cool. Um, and that was one of those. It was like, God damn, I had this CD when I was like 14 and used to listen to it all the time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that yeah, it was awesome.
What about a bucket list or like somebody that you haven't sat in with that would be one
Yeah,
person you could?
bucket list one. I mean, any like I would love to sit in with a punk band or like a metal band. Like I would love to
Yeah.
get
Bring a
a
banjo on stage.
crossover. Yeah, like yeah, I would love to
Banjo with
like yeah.
widespread.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That would be a good one. Yeah, I love Panic. That would be an awesome one.
Got my shirt on
Um
today. Widespread panic.
yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, that would be a great one. Yeah, any of that kind of stuff would be awesome. I would be very into that. Banjo with Tool.
Hell yeah, man. Well, we're coming up on our time. I don't want to keep you all day. I know you got a lot to do in beautiful Ohio on
Thanks,
your off
man.
day.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yes.
But
So
is
much
there
to do.
anything you want to plug before we wrap up?
Um, yeah. Is this coming out like pretty quick?
I think this one will come out on Monday, so a week from
Cool.
yeah, a week from today.
Nice. Yeah, just our tour with Leftover Salmon and Infamous String Dusters. We just got done with the first week and it was fire, honestly. Fantastic. All the venues are super cool, outdoor venues. It's been a party every night, and all the collabs have been super sick. And yeah, it's picking up steam. It feels like it's picking up steam. So we're about to do the second week of we're doing the Midwest leg this week, and then we have a Rocky Mountain West Coast leg coming up in August,
Okay.
where we'll be in Colorado, Montana, Wyoming, California, Washington, Oregon. So
Hell yeah. Go catch them, guys.
yeah, come out and see us. It's a hell of a time.
Awesome. Well, Torrin, man, this has been so much fun, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Come along, have a drink with me. We can talk about the world and how the world is turned so slow. Oh, oh. Day and night I found cars they drive and planes they fly. I look into the sun and the sky, you're so bright. It's you that I have found. Oh, and I know there's not much longer now. Or if the world would just slow down. The stars, they sail across the sky, and I could watch you dance all through the night. When the rhythm is right, oh, and I know the sun is rising now. Or if the world would just slow down. So you move with me and I'll move with you, and I could spend the rest of my life by your side. It's you that I have found. Oh, and I know not much longer now. Or if the world would just slow down. There's not much longer now. Or if the world would just slow down.